Okay, so uses of it. We are going to check what are the uses of it. And here we have that we can use it to replace different things. For example, we can use it to replace uncountable nouns. For example, I love gaming. En lugar de decir I love gaming, we can say I love it. Okay? So can you give me an example with a sentence with uncountable noun where we can replace it with it? Uncountable nouns. Remember that uncountable nouns are things, abstract things, are, I don't know, feelings. These are uncountable nouns. Materials. What can we say? Uncountable nouns. Any ideas with uncountable nouns? Uncountable nouns in a sentence, any sentence with an uncountable noun.
I love listening it.
I love listening to music.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. We can say I love listening to music. Oh, I am not writing. I love to music. And you can say, instead of saying I love listening to music, I love it. Right? Very good. Any other ideas for uncountable nouns?
I love practicing dance.
I love practicing dance, and we can say I love it, right? Here we have, for example, Samuel gave me a good advice. Advice is uncountable, right? I follow it, and everything resulted well. Okay, so I can say Samuel gave me a good advice. I follow it, and here I am saying that I followed the advice, right? And everything resulted well. Okay, so as you can see, we can use it to replace uncountable nouns. Okay, then we have singular countable nouns. I love that game. Or we can say, I love it. Can you give me an example with countable nouns? Singular countable nouns? For example, I love pizza. And we can say, I love it. Pizza is countable and it's singular, right? What can you say? Countable?
I love the books.
I love what?
The books.
I love, but we are talking about something singular. I love that book. Okay, or the book you gave me. Okay, so we can say I love it. Vamos a decirlo. I love the book you gave me. And we can say I love it. Okay, and we are talking about the book, singular, and it's countable, right? Any other example? With countable, singular, countable nouns? No?
I love that movie.
I love that movie. And we can say, I love it, right? Very good. What about phrases? It says, I love going to the park in the winter. And we can say, I love it. Okay, so here we can say, I love what? Listening to music while jogging, for example. And we can say, I love it, because we are talking about a whole phrase, okay? I love it. Estamos reemplazando it. Con it estamos reemplazando toda esta frase. Listening to music while jogging. Any other ideas? ¿Qué podríamos decir? I love. Any activity that you'd love doing?
I love
Eating.
eating ice cream on sunny days.
Okay, very good. And we can say, I love it, right? Then we have clauses. Do you know what is the difference between a phrase and a clause? Phrase and a clause.
Clauses have subject plus verb and phrases not.
Yes, very good. In a clause, we have a subject and a verb. For example, you is the subject and get absorbed is the verb. Okay, but in the phrase, as you can see, we don't have a subject and a verb. We just have a verb here. So this is the difference between phrases and clauses. Okay, and we can use it to replace clauses too. I love the way you get so absorbed in your interest. And we can say, I love it. Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example? I love why? I love what? What can we say? Any ideas? I love.
Teacher, maybe I love the way you use for to finish your career, maybe.
I love the way you use.
I love the way you force.
You force?
Esforzándose. For.
No, we can say I love the way you make an effort to finish your career. I love the way you make an effort to finish your career. And we can replace all these clauses with I love it. Okay, ¿cómo? ¿Sí?
Maybe I love the way you're reading the book every day.
Okay, very good. I love the way you read the book every day. Okay, and as you can see, we have a subject and a verb, make an effort. You read the book, right? Very good. So we can use it to replace any of these, okay? And also we can use it in other different situations. Let's see here. We can use it after a transitive verb. Do you know what is a transitive verb? Transitive verb, do you remember? What is this? In English, we have transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Any ideas? No? Okay, for example, a transitive verb is one verb that needs of an object to be complete in a sentence. An intransitive verb is the ones, these kind of verbs that don't need an object to be complete in a sentence. For example, here we have some transitive verbs. Here I have some examples of transitive verbs. Bring. For example, she brought her boyfriend to the party. What could be the object in this sentence? She brought her boyfriend to the party. What could be the object of the sentence? ¿Cuál podría ser el objeto de la oración? Recuerden que en la oración siempre tenemos un sujeto y un objeto. Do you remember
Boyfriend.
what? Yes. Yes, boyfriend is the object of the sentence, right? Entonces, si nosotros dijéramos she brought to the party, no tendría sentido, ¿cierto? Ella trajo a la fiesta, pero ¿trajo qué? ¿Ok? Entonces siempre estos verbos que son transitive verbs necesitan un qué, un objeto o una persona tal vez. ¿Ok? Un objeto en la oración. Por ejemplo, buy is a transitive verb. He bought me a new coat. ¿Ok? What is the object here? The object of the sentence? The object of the verb?
A new coat.
A new coat, right? A new coat. ¿Qué compró ella o él? Perdón, ¿qué compró él? Un nuevo abrigo. ¿Cierto? Very good. What about this one? My watch costs a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. And like this, ¿ok? Entonces los transitive verbs son los que necesitan un objeto para estar completos. ¿Ok? Los intransitive son aquellos que no necesitan un objeto para estar completos. Por ejemplo, play. Jennifer loves playing the piano. As you can see, the piano is the object. Si yo digo Jennifer loves playing, playing what? Playing soccer, playing basketball, playing the guitar, playing the violin, what? Okay, so we need an object, okay, in this kind of verbs. These are transitive verbs. So we can use it after a transitive verb. We can also use it at the beginning of the sentence with the verb to be. Okay? We can use it to talk about the weather. We can use it to refer forward to something that will be explained later. What does it mean? We use it at the beginning and we are going to explain what is this it about in the sentence, but later. Okay, we are going to check some examples of this. To talk about the time and to refer back to something that has been mentioned before. We can also use it to refer back, forward and back, okay? So here we have some sentences and I want you to tell me how can we match these sentences with the functions in the first column, okay? For example, after a transitive verb, which of these sentences is, in which of these sentences do we use it after a transitive verb?
The last one.
The last one, right? I prepared a wonderful report and I forgot to bring it. Ok, entonces, para referirnos, cuando estamos hablando de algo y tenemos un verbo transitivo, sí o sí necesitamos un objeto y este puede ser it. Ok, si decimos I forgot to bring what? Ok, so yes, the last one. At the beginning of the sentence with the verb be. So, at the beginning of the sentence with the verb be. Which of the sentences?
It's no easy.
It's not easy to work with lazy co-workers, right? Very good. We have it and the verb to be. Of course, we have another example of it and the verb to be, but we are going to use this sentence with other function, okay? Very good. To talk about the weather.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day, right? We are talking about the weather. Maybe it's sunny or maybe it's cloudy. I don't know. It's according to your likes, right? It's a beautiful day. To remember forward to something that will be explained later. To refer to forward something that will be explained later. What do you think?
It really annoys
Yes, it really annoys me.
when students don't do
Their
don't do.
homework, right? So as you can see at the beginning of the sentence, we are using it. And what do you think is the explanation? It says something that will be explained later. What could be the explanation in this sentence? ¿A qué nos referimos con este it?
When the students don't do their homework.
Very good. When the students don't do their homework, right? Entonces este it se refiere a todo esto. When the students don't do their homework. Ok, entonces yo podría decir, when students don't do their homework really annoys me. Ok, pero en lugar de decir eso, para que mi oración no empiece tan larga, digo it al principio. It really annoys me when students don't do their homework. Okay. What about the next one? To talk about the time.
It takes a long time.
It takes a long time. And to refer back to something that has been mentioned, of course, the first one, right? Don't drink the milk. It smells terrible. So when we say it, what are we referring to? What are we talking about? The milk, right? We are talking about the milk. So we mentioned before the milk, and to refer again to this milk, we say it, right? So these are some of the functions that we are going to be using in this lesson, in which we can use it, okay? So let's see here in your book, we have the grammar panel. So we are going to use all these examples here to complete the grammar panel, okay? Uses of it. We use the pronoun it to replace single nouns, whole phrases, and sometimes even complex ideas. It can refer back to something that we have already mentioned earlier in a text or a conversation. This often helps avoid unnecessary repetition. For example, it is so absorbing. Okay, en lugar de decir gaming is so absorbing, decimos it is so absorbing. So we're going to find here in the examples number 1, in exercise number 1, what other examples can we write in this part of the sentences? In this part of the grammar panel, which of these examples do you think that we can write here to refer back to something that had been mentioned earlier in a conversation? Which of them? ¿Cuál podríamos escribir?
Maybe
It is so good.
Okay. When I am feeling really stressed, I just disappear into one of my favorite games and let carry me away. No, no sería.
Teacher, it is so absorbing.
It is self-absorbing. Okay. Yes, the one that we have here, right? It is self-absorbing. Any other? Is there any other example?
And teacher can be an I really need it.
Okay. Yes, could be because we are referring to making a coffee or we are referring to do something else or grabbing a snack. I really need it. Yes, podría ocupar esto. I really need it. What about this
Teacher,
one? Yes.
it is so good to be able to focus.
Pero aquí no estamos refiriéndonos a algo que
For
ya
the-
mencionamos antes, ¿cierto?
For the second.
Ah, for the second? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, could be. It can also refer forward to something that will be explained in more detail later in the same sentence. This helps avoid complex ideas at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, very good. It's so good to be able to focus my attention on just one thing. Okay. Esa es la que me dijo usted, ¿cierto? Okay, yes. Any other idea? ¿Alguna otra idea que podamos escribir acá? Maybe this one too, right? It is so absorbing. In it is so absorbing. Aquí estamos refiriendo a este it. Se refiere a playing games, right? Playing games. Playing games is so absorbing. Entonces, para no repetirlo de nuevo, playing games, podemos decir it. It is so absorbing, right? What about the last one? This use of it is sometimes called preparatory or dummy. Ok, podemos utilizar esto y se llama preparatory or dummy. It and is commonly seen in expressions about the time, weather, and duration. For example, it is sunny, it's time for our first question, it only takes about 5 minutes. Ok, todos estos usos se llaman dummy or preparatory. Some common mistakes. Dice, don't drop dummy subject at the beginning of a sentence. Okay, for example, what can we say here? Don't drop the dummy subject at the beginning of a sentence. ¿Cuál de estos ejemplos podríamos poner? Any ideas? Don't drop the dummy subject at the beginning of a sentence. For example, it's necessary to have distractions from time to time. Aquí al principio debemos poner it is necessary, right? ¿En cuál de los ejemplos podemos ver esto en las oraciones que tenemos?
In number 2.
Yes, it doesn't usually take me long. Yes, very good. What about this one? Don't get it after a transitive verb. Ok, algunas veces se nos olvida ponerlos después de un verbo que es transitivo. ¿En cuál de los ejemplos podemos ver esto? Que no está el it después de un transitive verb.
Let it.
Again, please.
Let it.
let it carry me away, okay, this one, and I really need it también, ¿cierto? Estos dos ejemplos podrían escribir acá, cuando nos olvidamos de poner el it después de un verbo transitivo, okay? So, we are going to practice the use of it, okay? Let's see, let's go to page 122. Page 122. Aquí tienen la misma información que hemos visto en las diapositivas. Entonces ustedes pueden leerlas más a detalles y si tienen alguna pregunta, ya saben que siempre pueden preguntar, ¿ok? So, add the missing it to each text. So, let's see. I find that playing supposedly violent I find that playing supposedly violent video games helps me relax. I need after a hard day's work. Where do we need to write it in this sentence?
I need it.
I need it because it's a transitive verb, right? I need it after a hard day's work. Number 2, the most distracting thing for me is the phone. It's so difficult to ignore text messages from friends, and I often get sucked into long exchanges that really eat into my time.
It is so difficult.
It is so difficult, right? Very good. It's so difficult. The next one, I like coffee, but I don't need 3 cups a day. It's the ritual of getting up and making the coffee that I need.
It is the ritual.
It is the ritual, right? Very good. It's the ritual. And the last one, if you ask me to give up gaming, I really don't think I could. It's a real distraction, and no matter how hard I try, I really don't think I can give up.
I tried.
It's a real distraction, and no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard I try it, aquí
It don't matter.
no, sería, si lo cambiáramos sería it doesn't matter. Pero no, no es necesario. También podríamos decir and no matter. Aquí en la última
I could
parte.
it.
Yes?
I don't think I could it. Or no.
No. Aquí podríamos decirlo. I can give it up. Como tenemos transitive verbs, también tenemos transitive phrasal verbs. Este es un phrasal verb, right? Give up something. Entonces, debemos poner el it acá. I can give it up. ¿Ok? No puedo renunciar a eso, a los video games. ¿Ok? I can give it up. ¿Ok? Entonces, esos son the uses of it. ¿Ok? Here we have another exercise, but we are going to do this one after the break. Okay, so we are going to have a